got Belle, who just went and took second. She can't even go back, and she's still going. Now she's going to try to slide into third. And she's safe! She did it. She's done a good job in back-to-back innings. A little bit of trouble on it. She's got out of it, and this is hit up the middle. It's a nice play for one. Throw over to first, and she got her for two! And this is hit hard, deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone!
But she's, I'm telling you, Jenny is not going to let the ball go past.
And she's to do, and here it is, and she's done it. The perfect inning. And this is hit hard. It's towards center. Will this drop? A diving catch!
Tell me you're serious.
That's a great play.
Back a little late. There she goes. That's a long shot to left field. Sophie Hoyle! It's a home run! It's an automatic run for the Glenelg Rebels. We were just talking about her power. We were just talking about her wheelhouse. And into the breeze. Thank you very much, Lee. A home run to Sophie Hoyle. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Softball SA broadcast of the Adelaide competition right here on Spacequake Sports. James Harris here alongside me is Lee Hull, the voice of Softball SA. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, James. Good evening, everybody. And it's turned out to be a cracker of a night, hasn't it, compared with last Wednesday, which was freezing cold, and Saturday was hot.
Yeah, hot again today as well, up around the 38 degrees, but absolutely perfect night. We'll probably see that purple sunset a little later on when the sun goes down, but tonight's clash, we're here for the Glenelg Rebels versus Walkerville Cats, and it's the first game in a while for the Glenelg team on Spacequake Sports coverage, and we'll run through their lineups in just a moment. But starting off for the Walkerville Cats, pitching is Gabby Snyder to the lead-off batter, Regan Lambert, who swings at that first pitch for a strike. And Regan, of course, missed last week's game. She was over in Sydney watching her sister play for the
fantastic.
Aussie squad.
How did that go? You were there, weren't you?
I was on doing some high performance duties for Softball Australia,
okay.
and looking at a new coaching tool, an online coaching tool, but it's a Regan's the one we're focusing on now, of course, and she has watched that one for a ball. So 2 balls and 1 strike, getting ahead of the count early. The sun just shining there on the pitcher and shortstop. That's Desi G. Morales. It's short for Walkerville, and doesn't seem like it's too much trouble. It is pretty low and probably not at an angle that's too much trouble. Otherwise, they wouldn't have started the game.
No, that's correct. Although shortstop Desi G. Morales is shielding her eyes there, I just noticed after you said that. So maybe it's just getting an awkward spot.
Well, we might see a hold-up in play if it gets any worse, but we've now got a full count for Regan Lambert. And she squares up to bunt and earns herself a walk. So that inside pitch watches it into the catcher's mitt for ball 4, and good eyes in the end from Lambert, and Glenelg with the lead-off runner.
Yes, and there's certainly a good start by Regan. And now the next hitter is Jess Needs. Jess is playing at right field for the Rebels this evening.
Squares the bunt, fouling it off. We might take this opportunity to go through the Walkerville defence.
Okay, so at first base it's Alana Dales. Second base is the young player come across from Sturt and doing very well, Hayley Benithan. Third base is Sophie Roberts. Shortstop is Desi Giamarellis. And the outfield from left to right, Ellie Georgiaris, Michaela Robinson's at centre field, and Erin Reeves at right field. They only have one bench sitter at the moment, and that is Riley Moore. this is something about the sun, I think, here, James.
Yeah, so we just mentioned that. Senior umpire Neville Lawrence is just having a word to the shortstop. I don't think Desi's got too much trouble there. They're just having a quiet word. Yep, they're going to keep going. But not to be outdone as a senior umpire, we've got the state umpire-in-chief, Steve Wallace-Yarra, umpiring on first base, and also a very senior umpire himself, Damien McCauley, been to many a world championships.
3 excellent umpires, James.
I think we've got the top 3 in the state on this diamond. So Jess fouls that one off for strike 2, fouling off the first pitch as a bunt attempt. So behind in the count, 2 strikes, but both pitchers trying to advance the runner in Regan Lambert.
Yes, I'm a bit concerned shortstop Desi Giamarellis doesn't wear a hat or a visor. I'm thinking that may prevent a bit of the sun, you'd think.
Maybe just thought because it's a night game, you probably don't need it, but of course all the other players are wearing them. I mean, it's just part of the uniform now, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. And more relevant in daytime when the ball's hit up in the air, midday sun or just after, and you're looking directly at the sun. Fair point.
So tonight's clash, oh here we go, the ball is just chopped into the outfield and Michaela Robinson gets under it to take a comfortable catch for the first out, and not a bad piece of contact from Jess, but she's just got under it just that little bit, and an easy catch from Michaela. So let's get back into the action with catcher for Glenelg. It's Megan Wheatley up to bat.
Yes, it's when you can't bunt the ball into play when you have a runner at first for the sacrifice, then restricts you a little bit. And unfortunately for Jess and the Rebels team, she just flied out short to outfield.
Watches the first one for a strike and swings, late swing at a high pitch there for Megan. So again, behind in the count early, we saw last week that Snyder likes to work quickly. She had that 9-pitch inning for 3 strikeouts. Gets it in front of the count early for her first strikeout of the night. So started off slowly with a walk. Well, slowly you'd say for the likes of Gabby. You know, she had high expectations of herself, but just got straight back into it real quickly there with the pop-up fly for batter 2, and then batter 3 is her first strikeout victim for the night. Well, up to bat now is the long-awaited return of Glenelg star pitcher Steph Brzezinski.
Yes, it's been a while, hasn't it?
4 years
too long.
At the University of California, Berkeley, playing for the Cow Bears in the NCAA, and wouldn't the Rebels be loving having her back, Lee?
Certainly.
Known for her pitching, but no slouch with the bat. Obviously, in the 4 spot at the moment, Steph has played nationals. So far this year, she's played nationals. She played in the Denso series with the Aussie Spirit, and then she's gone away to the Asia Pacific Cup with the Aussie All-Stars squad, and played against the likes of world number 1 Japan, the Aussie Spirit team themselves, Italy, New Zealand, Chinese Taipei, and China. So some great experience for her. And bringing it into the Rebels lineup.
And James, there's no substitute for quality, and this girl has worked that hard over the years since she started that she's got everything she deserves, and it's mainly through the hard work.
Yeah, so terrific to see Steph back in the Adelaide competition, back in Glenelg colours. And when she finally hits the pitching rubber for Glenelg, we're going to actually see 7 ultra-competitive teams. I mean, if it's not close enough already this year, Glenelg, who are currently sitting bottom at the moment, just adding that extra team to such a strong competition. And it's a shame she's listed at shortstop tonight, which shocks me. I mean, we've got one of the top teams in Walkerville throwing their ace, Gabby Snyder, playing against bottom side Glenelg, and they've got their ace playing shortstop, hitting 4. You know, it's a bit of a surprise to me.
Yes, it's a bit of one of those funny ones, I think, James. But it'll probably unfold as the night goes on, I think, because I don't think Sophie Hall is going to be sitting on the bench for very much longer.
So Trzynski really battling it out here. She's got a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes, fouling off the last couple, and she actually looks comfortable in the box there. I mean, she had a bit of a nervous swing just then, but of course, after fouling a couple off and your first turn at bat in a while, you know, she looks pretty good.
Yeah, so she's always rated herself as a batter. Steph from day one, I think, loves to have a swing.
Gets the ball into play, and Sophie Roberts at third gets across to field the ground ball and firing it across for the third out. So no, not too much damage done for Walkerville. Their lead-off runner got on base for the Rebels, but weren't able to advance her at all. So no steal attempts. There was only that one bunt attempt, and so Walkerville just showed all class after that lead-off walk.
Yes, and the battery of Schneider and Robinson Chelsea variety is top class.
Yeah, we'll just go through the Walkerville hitting lineup. We mentioned their fielding lineup. Leading off is Chelsea Robinson. Now, what an in for the Cats. I mean, she was away with national representation. She played as a development player for the Aussie Spirit at the Denso Series at the end of January, and of course played for the Stars and had an absolute standout tournament. It was a breakout event for her. Although she'd been in the Aussie squad before, I think this was her best appearance and outing for the Stars this year. Hayley Benithan moves to the 2 spot, and an under-19 state representative, Desi G. Morellis, who's swinging a hot stick this year, former state representative. Gabby Schneider, the American import, hitting 4. Sophie Roberts, dual state representative, 17s and 19s this year. Erin Reid, breakout season this year, just absolutely a standout for Walkerville and one of the players, best improved players of the competition this year. Lana Dales, who's their first base player, batting 7. Ellie Georgiaris, who is a state under 15 development player, who is batting 8 and fielding left field, and in the 9 spot is Michaela Robinson. So, and she has been tremendous all year as well. So what a solid and strong lineup for the Cats.
Yes, and thinking about the state of proceedings with the ladder now, James, it's West Torrens and Walker look like they might have the hold on first and second at this stage.
Well, they've created some separation, haven't they? West Torrens on 26 points, played 18 and 26 points with 6 games to go. Walkerville's played 16 with 8 games to go, 23 points. So 4 points clear of Sturt and the Hills. All right, so we are seeing a brand new picture for the Glenelg Rebels tonight. It's Taylor Mead, brand new for our viewers, of course. Obviously, played the juniors through the Glenelg Rebels, and Taylor Mead coming in to pitch for the Rebels, and an exciting prospect for our juniors to see an under 17 age player coming through and pitching in the A-grade competition.
Well, they're missing 2 pitchers, aren't they? Like as in Sasha Penglaze and also Kushla Brewster. So maybe they had work commitments tonight, James.
Yeah, they've done the bulk of the work for the Rebels this year, and mostly Kushla. So hopefully the Rebels can get them back in the lineup. No doubt that Coach Opolsky will be looking to them to finish out the year. But of course, you've got the likes of Steph Trzynski just sitting there at shortstop waiting to hit the stripe. So see how Mead goes tonight. Well, she started off with a walk, so a lead-off walk to Chelsea Robinson, and brings up to the plate Hayley Benithan. No doubt they'll be looking to advance their lead-off batter, who's got on from a walk. Let's see if Taylor can hold the Cats as Snyder did. It was pretty high and out of the zone, I would have thought so, but Benithan probably shows a little more patience in the box, and then she can get a strike to put into play.
Yeah, it was way high, wasn't it? On the replay, it's up there, but
a bit better discipline there. It's Caitlin Carroll. She just turned the wrong way and bounced the throw to second base and Lauren Jury. Actually, let's go through the Glenelg defence in just a moment. So runner advances to third. That's Chelsea Robinson and Hayley Benithan arriving safely at first.
Yes, the defensive side of things for the Rebels. At first base, Caitlin Carroll. Third base is Gemma Cochran. In the pivot positions, at second base is Lauren Jury and Steph Drzinski, we've already mentioned, playing shortstop. At left field, it's Cara Davies. Regan Lambert takes up the centre field position, and at right field, it's Jess Neves. And with the battery, as James has said, Taylor Mead to Megan Whitley. Now, I think from what we've seen from Taylor now, she's just going to throw off pace, isn't she, really?
Yeah,
and
so
try and buy some outs.
So far, it's been off pace. So runner goes on the pitch, and a leg throw from Wheatley, cut off by the second base player in Jury. So, yeah, off pace might be a bit of a tactic that Glenelg are using, seeing as that, you know, they're playing against one of the top sides. You know, maybe throw them off their timing a little bit.
Yes, I think so.
It's high and out of the zone for ball two. So G. Morellis not only swings a hot stick, but she's one amongst the league leaders in walks as well this season. So very patient hitter, waits for her pitch.
Been
particularly
a
early in the game.
Consistent player for a long time, Desi. Consistently good player, that too.
That one's just missed for ball three. So two runners in scoring position for G. Morellis. She would be loving this right now, an opportunity to perhaps drive in a couple of runs, and good discipline in the box. Watches that for ball four, so didn't even have to swing the bat on that occasion, and we've got loaded bases. So Gabby Schneider, the American, up to bat now. It's not what you want to see for a young pitcher in Taylor Mead. You've got the four-hitter, one of the premier hitters in the competition in Schneider. Look for her to rip into this if there's one in the zone.
I'm passing her up.
First pitch, this one's hit out to the Bob Burns blinds sign. It's one bouncing into the fence. Robertson scores, as does Benithan, and Gia Morellis stands up in a canter at third. And Schneider ripping that ball for a two-run double.
I think I did mention I'd pass her up. It's cost 3 here.
So Schneider
2
there
actually.
stands up at second,
yep.
And yeah, I think the runners held up just in case it was a caught fly ball, but that one was dead set up the middle of the alley out towards the scoreboard. Great start from Walkerville. No
yes,
outs, runners on second and third, and Sophie Roberts up to bat. The pressure doesn't stop for the Rebels with Roberts.
Gabby is such a strong hitter of the ball.
That one just dies right at the last moment and doesn't exit the strike zone. So we've got a ball for Sophie Roberts. Mead dealing, and Roberts crushes this one. Gemma Cochran takes an unbelievable screamer of a catch lead. That's the first out. Well
that was
done.
Fantastic
Cochran.
from Gemma, wasn't it? Gee.
Yeah, getting an appreciation from the runner at third base as well. Jerry Morellis giving a high five. That was a great catch. Let's watch this replay. Absolutely ripped hard, and a shout out to Cara Schultz. She's just standing behind me and just said, that's how I should have caught mine. She wore one to the face at National Championships earlier in January, and will play the infield position for Seacombe with a face mask next time she plays. So
yeah, I think there was an opportune time then for Gemma when she gathered her thoughts that say to the people around her, routine out.
What a great catch. So look forward to seeing that one in the highlight reel. So one out, and Erin Reid up to bat for Walkerville. We spoke just about her. Just a ground ball to shortstop. Steph Drzinski makes a good play. The runner doesn't go from third, so 2 outs for the Rebels. That was pretty good fielding for a pitcher there at shortstop.
Yes.
Okay, so the 2 runs came with no outs, leaving runners at second and third, but Taylor has just bounced back real well. They're 2 outs from 2 great plays.
Yeah, they're great effort from Taylor. But Steph, being the competitor she is, put her somewhere, anywhere, she's going to compete.
Yeah, she's moving pretty well there. So called strike on Alana Dales, the hitter for the Cats. Swing and a miss at this one, so that's the off pace that you're talking about, and getting plenty of crowd appreciation there. Taylor Mead. So Rebels, of course, without the other Mead, cousin of Taylor, that's Jamie Mead, so she'll be watching. That one's falling in, just on the line, it's going to go to the fence, so 2 more run score for the Cats, and Cara Davies has her work cut out for her to get to that one as it went the journey to the fence and stands up at second, clearing the bases.
Well, she can hit the ball hard, Alana, as we just saw, and just landed inside, didn't it? Inside the line.
Just on the line, I think. And,
yep.
And so our second 2-run double for the inning for Walkerville to put their lead out to 4 early in proceedings. Ellie Georgiaris, as we mentioned, from the under-15 development team that finished second at the regional championships in January.
That's a very good effort, James. Were the winners New South Wales?
New South Wales, they haven't lost the under-15 girls regional since its inception a few years ago.
I'm completely shocked. But to finish second, very good. If they didn't get beaten by much, did they? Final score?
No, it was by a run. In the end, against a team that they beat 1-0 earlier on in the week. So it was, geez, if things had gone our way, you know, probably would have been seeing a champion player right here. But wasn't to be this time around. Very well coached side. Alice Prokopek, the likes of Kathy Lambert and Kelsey Nucky. Can't recall the head coach's name, but only kidding, Morgan Young did a fantastic job. Obviously under the tutelage of Jordan Lambert from the previous year as the assistant coach, took over the side. Ellie Georgiaris does very well to earn herself a walk, so runners on first and second now for the Cats, bringing up the number 9 hitter of the inning. So we've got 4 runs, we've got 2 runners on base, there's 2 out, and the 9 hitter in Michaela Robinson up to bat. Goes after the first pitch. This is a routine grounder for a shortstop, and Trzynski makes her second out of the inning. So a couple of really nice plays there from the Rebels. However, a couple of walks and a couple of doubles have...
After batting through the lineup.
Batting through the lineup for the Cats. So well done, the Walkerville Cats. They just showed their class that inning, pouring on 4 runs, and so impressive. So impressive. A lead-off walk to Robinson, and yeah, the doubles from Schneider and Dales. What a great start. Anyway, so we were talking about the ladder earlier on, so Walkerville definitely in contention for a top 2 finish this year, along with the ladder leaders at the moment, West Torrens, both teams on 11 wins. West Torrens have had those 4 draws, which is the equivalent of 2 wins, and then they've had the 3 losses. So the least amount of losses in the competition. One of those being against Glenelg Rebels, believe it, on the bottom side. So then you go to 3rd and 4th spot with Sturt and the Hills both on 19 points, and in 5th spot, perhaps not out of reach just yet, Seacombe Tigers and Port Adelaide, just losing their first 2 games of this half of the year on 13 points. So they're actually 6 points behind 3rd and 4th spot, so they can't afford to drop any more games with just 6 games remaining.
No, and as I've said to Coach Butch Sims before, those drawn games they've had are either going to come back and bite them, or they'll be handy for them. But you've got to keep winning, don't you?
Yeah. So 5 wins and 3 draws for Port Adelaide, probably going to take, you know, a dozen wins, and they can't actually achieve that this year to make the final. So it'll be interesting to see how they go in the back half of the year, the last 6 games. Seeing as that they've got the 2 American imports and the likes of Megan Williams, you know, having a great year, Talia George, the Catuzzo sisters, it is actually a very strong lineup now. You just can't take any game for granted. All right, Gabby Snyder, back to the action here. The live action is Walkerville and Glenelg. So Caitlin Carroll was the leadoff for that inning for the Rebels, and she's gone down swinging, bringing up the new hitter to the lineup in Lauren Jury.
Well, you make some very good points about the Port Adelaide side. I just wonder where they'd be sitting now if both Americans were here at the start.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of runs early as well, didn't they? And if they manage to get tied equal with points, the runs against are just going to be too costly, too expensive. So that's worth a win in itself, the runs against.
Yes, it's
Jury
an
having a big cut
important
of
thing
that
to
one.
remember.
You know, the games in the weeks to come. I mean, Walkerville plays Sturt live here on Space Quake Sports on Saturday with the Hills versus Seacombe, another final shaping game. But a bottom of the table clash, Glenelg and Port Adelaide, becomes a must-win game for Port Adelaide. However, you mentioned to me before, it's likely that Trzynski's going to pitch her first game.
Yes, so I believe, and we'll be looking forward to that, won't we, after so long?
You'll have to tell me your contact, because I speak with Steph regularly, and I wasn't aware that she wasn't going to be pitching tonight, let alone she will pitch on Saturday.
Well, maybe she's just doesn't want to pump herself up about that.
Just see behind us in the just out of the bullpen, we can see Sophie Hoyle warming up, so she could be preparing to come onto the field.
I would think so.
Great turn at bat from Lauren Jury. The shorter player tightens up the strike zone a little, and Schneider actually struggled there to find a strike zone.
I'll tell you one thing, I've seen a fair bit of the Jury sisters lately, and what impresses me most about them is their attitude. They have a real decent go, and there you go. She's playing A grade, and she's on base, and she can run too.
Well done to Lauren Jury. She was an under-9 reserve this year. She just missed out on selection, and to her credit, she turned up to every training session and just put in the hard work, and obviously it's paying off now. Great turn at bat from Gemma Cochran, laying down a good sacrifice bunt. Back to the pitcher in Gabby Schneider, who, not unlike most other pitchers, fielding very well off her own work, and that's the second out of the inning. So a 1-out bunt, Lee. Are you surprised? Chasing 4, a 1-out bunt to advance a runner to second?
Yes, I am, James. But never mind.
Okay, 2
We get some
out
people
now
in scoring positions, and she's in scoring position.
Yeah, with Cara Davies up to bat, so has a big cut at that one for a strike. So yeah, just mentioning that 1-out bunt, chasing 4. I mean, you put all your eggs in one basket, and that is on this hitter driving in the run. That is right at the bottom of the zone. So umpire McCauley, a very consistent umpire, and just gets that one right on the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, Cara's been a reliable outfielder. Normally plays at left field for the Rebels.
Strikeouts probably on the pitch, but she looks to have a bit of a cut at that one as well. So a strikeout for the 3rd out, and Cara is back to the dugout. So we're in the middle of the 2nd inning, and Walkerville really in control of this game. They've 2 base runners, both being walks, and they've scored 4 runs on a couple of hits and a few walks. So what are we expecting from the Cats this inning?
Well, more of the same, I would think.
Yeah.
Yes. I took the words out of your mouth then, sir. I'm sorry.
Well, perhaps I asked you a rhetorical question.
Yes,
and
you may have done.
Knowing the answer, mate.
Yeah,
but look, I'd really like to see some sort of fight back from the Rebels here, because, for our viewers and, for their own credibility as well, you never like to see a team getting hammered. I mean, if the Cats can put on another 4 this inning, the game's going to be over, perhaps by the end of the 3rd.
Yeah, and seasons can turn around, as you know, because look at Port Adelaide last year. Look at Port Adelaide this year. 2 completely different sides.
Yeah, well, Glenelg played off in the final last year, off the back of some great pitching from their import, Morgan Lashley, with a great season from Jamie Mead. And, you lose 2 key players like that, and it's shown that it can absolutely decimate a side. I mean, most of these players on the diamond played in that grand final, so you'd think that they'd have the experience to get back into it. And I mean, Kusha has done a great job. I mean, you look at the last time these 2 teams played, it was a 6-4 win to Walkerville with the likes of Kusha and Sasha. We mentioned them before. putting in a combined effort there last year and only gave up 3 earned runs. You know, so you take out any errors in the defence, and you're probably looking at a 3-all game or a 4-3 game.
This is the lead-off hitter, Chelsea Robinson.
Well, these two teams will face off another 2 times this season. It's just the way that the draw goes. They play each other. Each team plays everyone 4 times, and they just happen to have 3 times this half of Christmas. Next week they will face off on Diamond 2. Robinson hits this ball opposite field to right field and just goes foul. So 2 strikes. So a good start to this innings from Taylor. Taylor Mead. It was a little different in the last inning when she walked Robinson, so she headed the count. And then Breast Cancer Awareness Round. So that's the first weekend in March. Breast Cancer Awareness Net Round will feature Walkerville Cats and the Glenelg Rebels. So great cause that these two teams.
Yearly thing is out. Yeah.
What a great shot from Chelsea Robinson, just getting her hands to that ball, which was high and out of the zone, but she was able to place that one over the top of the second base player's head and into the gap for a single. So Robinson, lead off on again.
Yeah, she just, like you said, held her hands back and just went with the pitch.
Hayley Benithan given the green light. Trzynski was pretty good to stop that one going up the middle. I mean, for someone who I would expect would probably have good reactions when the ball's hit straight back to her. I didn't realise her lateral movement was that good as well. I'm pumping her up a little bit here, Lee, but she's managed to stop that ball, put a little bit of defensive pressure on the runners, but they are both safe on first. Gia Morellis goes after this one. It's a long ball out to left field. Cara Davies takes a good catch. Chelsea Robinson had tagged up, and she is going to stand up at third. Hayley Benithan does the same, standing up at second. So not a bad piece of the ball from Gia Morellis. Perhaps off the end of the bat, maybe, but it went a long way to left field, allowing the runners to advance.
Yes, now it's Gabby Snyder. Well, 2 on. This is a good time to fill the bases. Walker.
Squeeze bunt attempt from Walkerville.
And
wow.
successful.
Successfully done. So Coach Tomlinson just pulling out a couple of tricks here. Just going to her arsenal there and well, Gabby tried to pump that one to the fence at first turn of bat. Second turn of bat, wastes no time, gets down a squeeze bunt. She's safely aboard at first. Taylor's probably done the right thing there and held up the throw, and also safely to third.
Well, I'm sure the Rebels defence wasn't expecting that.
Definitely not. Would have been on their heels, thinking that Snyder probably going to put another one to the fence. Roberts goes after this first pitch. Have a look at this. We've probably had first pitch swings from the last 3 batters, 2 of them going into play, and that one going foul. So 4 pitches in a row, we've seen contact, and
it's aggression.
Good hands opposite field again. So Walkerville are showing some great batting performances here. Another single. So Schneider safely to second. She had to move it to get there safely because it was a force situation and the ball had just bobbled up into the air. So a replay may have shown.
A very good effort from Lauren Jury then, just out of her reach.
So Benithan scored on that play, and now 6 runs the lead for the Cats. Schneider on second and Roberts on first.
Here's a girl you mentioned before, Erin Reid, is having
just a foul ball from our neighbours from the baseball.
There's a few squeals out there.
Gemma Crocken wasn't sure what to do with it. It's a little smaller than the one as the ball that she's used to handling, and a great catch in the first inning. We won't forget that one in a while. Now the off-speed pitch. Oh, we have seen an obstruction there. It's an interference, in fact. So Sophie Roberts runs into the fielder. affecting her. We'll see the replay here. Erin Reid it was. Oh, she didn't go straight at the ball, but she was charging the ball, so she's got the right foot. Sophie Roberts interfered in the act of fielding. Coach Tomlinson just double checking with umpire Wallace Yarrow just to make sure that the call was right. So we've got a Hall of Famer and a state coordinator of umpiring right there, state umpiring chief. So that
could be a good debate.
It may very well be a good debate there. So let's watch the replay from Reid, just getting her hands to the ball, going opposite field again, and looked like Jury actually got her glove to the ball and perhaps maybe took her eye off it just at the last moment when the runner collided. So probably a pretty good call there from umpire Wallace Yarrow, but the runners advance. So we've got runners on first and third. That's the first out of this inning, by the way. So we're at the 7 hitter for the inning, Alana Dales, who doubled her first time up to bat.
Oh.
Watching that one low for a ball. Second out, excuse me. Of course, it was Desi G. Morellis who flew out to left field. So very quickly, what's that? First one was the ball, was it? Yeah, 1 and 1. So I was going to say ahead of the count, but 1 and 1. The count now on Dales. Now ahead of the count. So Mead finding a bit of a groove now this inning. She's found the strike zone a number of times and getting the ball into play, which is exactly what Coach Apolsky would have been wanting from her young pitcher.
And she seems to have a bit more zip with her movements now.
Erin Reid looking for 2 bases, got a little bit greedy, and she's got to get there safely. That's great aggressive running from Erin Reid. 2 bases on that pass ball. Wheatley just couldn't get back there quick enough. Snyder scored from third, so that's the 7th run, 3rd of this inning. 2 out, 2 balls and 2 strikes in the bottom of the 2nd. Just getting a little bit of bat onto that ball. It spins and it spins and it spins, and well, thankfully the Glenelg Rebels defence are saying it has spun foul.
It's a classic case of a mishit. Causes all sorts of trouble. It didn't that time.
Well, when you swing the bat hard, the last thing that the defence is expecting is a slow roller. So good piece of the ball. She's got under it a little, so centre fielder Regan Lambert will be able to make her way under the ball and takes a great catch on the run. So Glenelg Rebels limiting the damage to just the 3 runs this inning, but Walkerville have managed to extend their lead. It's out to 7 already, Lee. It's the bottom of the 2nd. So Glenelg have their work cut out for them. We're about 30 odd minutes into the game, so should be expecting some results to come through from the opposite diamond sooner or later. It's an hour into that game, and
Sturt versus Port Adelaide.
And a big game it is. So Sturt versus Port Adelaide. If Port Adelaide can pick up a win tonight, their chances of making the finals increase. And guess whose spot they'll be looking to take? Sturt. Because they're the team on 19 points and sitting equal 3rd with the Hills, but you know you don't want to drop too many. And for those that don't know, a massive out for the remainder of the season for the Sturt Falcons. Aussie Spirit catcher, dual World Championship bronze medalist. She's done the lot. A national champion with the under-19s in the mid-2000s. She's the Sturt captain. She's the leader of the team. She's the reason why Sturt have been so successful the last few years. Broken wrist at the Asia Pacific Cup.
Yes, I know. It's been the talking point. What a shame to a terrific ambassador for our sport here in South Australia. The best player in this state, without question.
The best player and an absolute lovely person as well on the field. So a devastating blow for the Falcons. So they will be looking to perhaps a younger catcher, Sarah Tonkin maybe. But who knows? It's going to be interesting to see how they go the remainder of the year. No doubt that Coach Gardner will have plans in place. I mean, you've got the likes of Maddie Cameron and Tash Straps and Sarah Tonkin still in the lineup. Ada Brinketree. Actually, she's got a new married name now. She got married last weekend. So congratulations to Ada and Lee on your on your marriage on the weekend?
Must be a fine man and her husband, I would think.
He's a
Name
great
like that.
He's a great guy, Lee. Yeah. Oh, good name. Yeah, I get that. I get that. So.
A lovely girl, Ada. Apart from being an excellent player.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the action here. We can see Taylor Mead, who is pitching this game. She's given the role to hit as well. Yeah, she looks pretty good up there. She's
not phased by
had a couple of swings, fouling that one off, and for still a junior player, Glenelg, excuse me, we're talking about Sturgis previously, Glenelg still have got a lot of excitement in their young brigade that are still coming through. So, you know, perhaps this 1 year is just, you know, going to be a one-off year because, I mean, next year if you've got the likes of Trzynski throwing and the likes of Mead coming up through the ranks, watch out for the Glenelg Rebels in the years to come.
Yep, it changes quickly as we spoke about before.
All right, back to the top of the lineup. Game's original lead-off hitter. This is Regan Lambert. Swings at that first one, but straight to shortstop. Gia Morales. There wasn't as much power on that swing as Lambert would have liked, and a pretty simple catch for Gia Morales in the end. So two outs quickly for the Rebels. Jess Neves up to bat.
Not what they need, the Rebels. They just need to get a few people on. Just keep chipping away, chipping away.
One run at a time is what they'll be after, and even, you know, putting a run on the board will do a lot for their confidence. Just leaving that one high and out of the zone for another ball. So look, Glenelg can't make the finals. It's as simple as that. They're out of reach. 8 games to go, and they're 15 points behind. So, you know, one win each from Sturton Hills will put Glenelg out. So mathematically possible, but, you know, they'll have to play each other, Sturton Hills, at some time during this half of the year. So let's just say that it's not likely that they will. But, you know, some credibility. I mean, they'll be a proud club making the final last year, and no doubt about it, they'll be wanting to shake the finals as well. You know, have an influence on teams that they're playing against,
and they can.
So a run's important here, I think, for the Rebels.
No scores from the other game at all, James?
Not yet. We've haven't really seen any of the crowd coming over yet, and I mean, we've probably got some contacts, no doubt about it, over on the other diamond, but we will wait to see when someone comes over, and it's a strikeout to end the innings. So Neves goes down swinging, and Schneider has picked up another strikeout for a 5th for the game in 3 innings. So Walkerville, what a strong position they're in right now. They're up by 7, and you know, they're about to come through to the top part of their order again. So batter 8 and 9 will come up to bat. It's going to be,
I wouldn't know,
a big ask, I think, for Glenelg, not only to hold the Cats, but to come back. But, you know, you never know. This season has seen some funny results, starting really early in the year when we saw Port Adelaide make that 5-run final inning to tie the game against West Torrens. First time they'd picked up a point for the season and for some time. But no, I don't think we'll expect to see that. Not against Snyder.
No, and Walkerville with their hitting, like you said, their offence now, they're going to keep going. They're going to keep taking shots here.
So just interestingly enough, we mentioned it earlier in the game, the first time these two teams played earlier in the year, it was Gabby Schneider's first game for the club.
Oh, okay. And what was the result in that game?
Well, we spoke of it, was 6-4 win to Walkerville,
oh, that was the one,
and
yeah.
Schneider
Okay.
pitched 5 innings for 8 strikeouts.
Oh.
So she's got 3 innings for 5 strikeouts, so she's probably on par for that game. The one and only time these teams have met so far this season. All right, Ellie Georgiaris up to bat, had a walk at her first turn. That one just probably didn't have the grip right there for Mead, and Wheatley did pretty good to stop that one.
It happens to the best of pitchers.
Georgiaris looking quite keen and eager to have a cut at that one, but that was too high, and she showed good discipline and good hands to stop the swing on that one there. So Georgiaris, 2 balls and 1 strike. That one bouncing to catch a Wheatley, so she's actually done pretty good, Megan Wheatley. She's got a big job here to guide the young pitcher back into the strike zone, 3 in 1 count. Good discipline from Georgiaris, so she hustles up the line, and although they're up by 7 lead, they are not holding back here, the Cats. They are hustling at every moment and attempt. They don't want to drop their standard because, you know, with 8 games left to go before finals, they want to be in top form.
Certainly, and that's Ellie's back-to-back base on balls for her. Now it's Michaela Robinson. So the Robinsons are playing bookends. 1 batting 1, 1 batting 9.
Well, Georgiaris here is into a good sprint position there, no doubt. Ground ball to third base, Gemma Cochran. So Gemma Cochran knocks that one down. That could be tough, Lee. The ball's on down the line. I've seen many a hit get in squeeze between the third base player and the foul line. So nice work to knock it down. Let's just watch this replay here. It's a great little backhand stop, and probably saved a base there as well because
it would have been 2 bases.
Yeah, it definitely would have been, at least been 2 bases. You can get a ball into the corner, left field or right field, and you're definitely getting extra bases. And if you can get it to the fence, you might even be looking at 3. So Cochran's probably saved at least a base, maybe even 2, which maybe even would have been a run.
Excellent point.
So Robinson very keen to hit. She pops this one up to centre fielder Regan Lambert, who got on her bike, tried to throw the runner out at third. So Georgiaris tagging up on the play, trying to get the throw to the cutoff. It's just gone over the head. Let's watch this on replay. Robinson going opposite field once again tonight to right field. Good catch from centre fielder Regan Lambert. And Georgiaris third. So runners at second and third now for the Cats. That's Michaela Robinson on second, Georgiaris on third. There is 1 out, and Hayley Benithan up to bat, fouling that one.
Yes, on that previous play, Regan Lambert was in very good position. She played more right field than centre field, so she had a feeling Chelsea was going out that way again. She did, and so she got her out.
Great shot, but it's straight back to the pitch. Taylor Mead probably got a little bit of glove onto it, so she doesn't look like she's in any trouble there. So just knocking that one down. Steph Trzynski just double checking, making sure she's all right. Maybe in a shock. We'll watch this one rifle back to the pitcher. Yep, she's hit her in the glove, and the runner crosses the play. Early Georgiaris. So Hayley Benithan will get credited a hit with that. Runs at the corners. Aggression continues for the Cats because they're not letting up with their base running. They're being very aggressive, and although they didn't steal on that play, so that's a bit of a handshake agreement in softball that once you're up by 7, you're not stealing or bunting. So
no, I think it's
they're honouring that by the looks. Honouring that by the looks, and Desi Gimerels pulls that one down the left field line. So first run of the inning was scored. That was when Georgiaris crossed the plate. It's 8-0 now in the bottom of the third, 1 out. Doesn't get much of that on that. Cochran checks the runner, fires the play over to first, and a good out made. Caitlin Carroll finishing the play there. So well done to Gemma. She's got the action tonight, Lee.
Certainly has, and she's been getting...
You got Bell, who just went and took second. She can't even go back, and she's still going. Now she's going to try to slide into third.
She played that one perfect, didn't she? She charged as the slow roller. She checked the runner. So Snyder actually having a look at one this time. She's gone first pitch both times.
The outside pitch, I'm telling you, if it comes again, it's going deep the left field.
Caught the edge for a strike. Rips this one to right field. Neves is going to field this one, but it's not going to stop the runners from scoring. So the 3 times she's come up to bat, she's had runners on second and third. She'd have 5 RBIs by now, I think, Lee.
Yes, James, certainly.
Wow.
But it was inside, so she pulled her the game. So she's batting well, isn't she? A double, a single, and another single.
Michaela Robinson just easily home there, and Hayley Benithan got on her bike to score from second. So another 2. So now it's 10 runs the lead. Gemma Cochran in the play again for a very good out. Now that is a 10-run lead after 3 innings, and Lee, run rule is in effect now. If Walkerville can get the next 3 outs without giving up a run, we are going to be over and out.
Over and out, sir. Reminds me of the Strikers, the cricket team, who won their first BBL.
Lee, I'm kicking myself. I missed the game. I was in Sydney with the high performance team at the Asia Pacific Cup, and when I got home and heard the news, I was ecstatic for the Strikers. So BBL Championship, home where it belongs, in Adelaide.
Of course. Well, I had the chance of going with a ticket from my son, but I chose to come down and support the Dragons, which is on now. So
Dragons program underway for 2018. It's the first of its kind within Australia, and the added element to the Dragons program this year is the Little League International. So over the course of the next month or so, the Dragons will play round-robin series of games. All-star teams from the Northern and Southern charters will be picked in both the senior and junior leagues. The winners of those leagues will represent the Australian region at the Asia Pacific Championships in Singapore.
Gee, I knew there was something special about it.
Okay, first pitch of the 4th inning for Glenelg is Megan Wheatley. Was that a bunt attempt? Straight back to the pitcher in Schneider, so 1 pitch and 1 out. So now the Cats are 2 outs away from ending this game. Steph Trzynski up to bat. The 4 hole for Glenelg Rebels. Has a slightly open stance. Watches that one on the outside edge for a strike. So Schneider with 5 strikeouts so far. The maximum should be able to get tonight, if it's over and done with this innings, will be 7. Let's see how things unfold. A big swing and a miss there for Trzynski. That was definitely in the zone, so it was a good pitch to get after. But it just gets a foul tip for strike 2.
Well, the pitcher and the catcher have played lots of state games together, juniors mainly.
Strikeout swinging for Trzynski. She fouled it off, but it was a foul tip straight into Robinson's gloves. Yes, you're talking the batter and the catcher then? Is that what you...
Yeah.
And she both played at Junior World Championships together. National champion players in the under-19s back in 2015, right here on this diamond. Kellen Carroll is going to ground this one out to shortstop Sophie Roberts, and that's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. In 48 minutes, the Walkerville Cats run out 10-0 victors, and the run rule in effect being 7 after 5, 10 after 4, and 15 after 3. So a quick, smart game, in and out in probably a record time. I haven't seen a game finish so quickly before the Diamond 2 game ends, so we won't be able to give you a score from the Sturt Port Adelaide game. We will just quickly go through the remaining games for the week. On Saturday, Walkerville will play Sturt live on Spacequake Sports. Hills versus Seacombe, Glenelg and Port Adelaide. And that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Walkerville run out convincing winners, 10 runs to 0.
Yes, there's not much you can say about it. They just come out, they were aggressive, they showed their hand during the game by playing the squeeze. The score when Gabby did the squeeze bunt down, so that was probably good practice. And then they just played it through it until we got the result. And it, as you said, James, it was over before it started pretty well.
Okay, well that just about about wraps things up here at West Beach. Softball SAHQ for Wednesday night softball live on Spacequake Sports. We'll see you on Saturday afternoon for the big clash between the Cats and the Falcons.